Hey everyone, my name is Brandon, aka Smart Home Sellout, and today we're going to be going over the Apollo H-1. It is a very small, very unique little microcontroller. It is based off of, or built off of ESP Home firmware. It is actually shipping with a dumb mode of the firmware, which is really neat because all you have to do is either connect to the USB-C power, or connect a RC rechargeable CR123A battery or a 16340. They're called the same thing, this little guy. And once that's in there, and again, or skip the battery and just do USB-C. You then have this nice little button here, and if you do a single tap, it will start playing a little song and having the little LEDs change color along with it. And it allows you to do a single tap, a double tap, and a long hold. I'm going to remove the battery to get it to stop. Okay, so now that we have this guy, it's with dumb firmware, right? So it does exactly what I said. It does the single tap, the double tap, or the hold, and it does three different little unique jingles or with the Piezo buzzer. So now that we have that done, what if we want to add it to Home Assistant? Well, we actually do need to reflash the firmware to get it on smart firmware. And if we're looking down on this page here, right here, it says we need to click here to add the Wi-Fi functionality. So if we click this, we are not using a Edge browser, or sorry, a Google Chrome browser such as Chrome or Edge. So we're gonna have to switch to that, which is totally fine. I suggest switching back when you're done. So what we're gonna do then is we're gonna plug this into USB. But before we do that, we're actually going to okay, so if you're looking at it from this direction, there is a boot button right here, and we're gonna hold that in. So we hold that boot button in, then we plug in our USB, then we let go. And you hear the little Windows, boop boop that it heard. Okay, so we even see a cute little light up green for a second here. That's fine. So at this point, we've actually got it into boot mode, so it's ready for us to flash. So I'm gonna open up Edge and go ahead and paste this in there. Okay, so here we get to choose. Whoops. Here we get to choose whether we want the smart Wi-Fi firmware or no Wi-Fi firmware. So we're gonna do connect. It did not find the device. That's okay. So what we're gonna do here is I'm actually going to remove my battery because I think that's what caused the issue. So we're gonna remove this. We're going to hold down the boot button. Remember, that's the one on the left side here. And then we're gonna plug that back in. And then look at that, it shows up as paired. So now our device is paired. And we can click on it, click connect. All right, and now we just install Apollo H-1, install, and we let this finish. It'll be very fast. And so what this is doing is it's actually switching the firmware from the dumb firmware, aka just not running the web server, not running anything, just doing the little buttons. And this is flashing it with firmware that will allow us to connect it to our Home Assistant or other smart home software. It says 2 minutes. It shouldn't take quite that long. In the meantime, I'll go ahead and go over what our next steps are. So let's see. The next steps are that I want to mention that although it does not include a battery, you can buy your own 16340 or CR123 rechargeable battery. However, it also does not have a charging circuit, and I believe this was a decision based on legality of shipping things with chargers. But at the end of the day, it's not the end of the world. I personally will just be plugging mine in via USB-C and not using a battery. So not the end of the world there. All right, we're now done. I'm gonna close out of this, go back to my main Home Assistant instance. All right, so we had to unplug it and plug it back in, and once we did that, it is no longer in boot mode, and now it shows up as this discovered device that we can add via improv via BLE. So basically what this is doing, this little microcontroller has both Wi-Fi and Bluetooth on it. And when we reflashed it, it added this extra little ble-improv component from ESP Home. And what this allows us to do, and I'll show you here, we'll just walk through it. What this allows us to do is click Add, Submit, and now it wants us to type in our SSID and then our password, and then I can just hit submit. And it should take just a couple of seconds to join my network. Once that is complete, we are now able to add it to Home Assistant, and it will show up, which it just did here. So it almost looks identical to what we just did, but the first thing we did is we just told it, hey, get on our Wi-Fi. It's now on our Wi-Fi. Now we can actually add it to our Home Assistant. So I'm just going to click Add. Do you want to add it? Yes. Successfully created. I'm not going to give it a room right now. Done. So now if we went into our ESP home devices and we look for our Apollo H-1, sure enough, if we click RGB light, ta-da, and of course, change colors to green or something, whatever you want to do, no problem. Okay, so this is a YAML bug that we are going to work on. It's basically just um, too long of a string. So no worries, we will get that figured out in a future update. So at this point, it is now added to Home Assistant. Hey everyone. Okay, so at this point, we're ready to play our songs. So what I've done here is, and I'll copy this. I've gone to Developer Tools, and then it shows you normally end up here. I've gone to Actions, and then from here I just searched my name, or just here you can just say like H1, right, and see what pops up. So we have Play Buzzer, and that allows us to play any buzzer song. We can then go to our wiki and go to here. We'll start fresh. So we can go to additional info and the Piezo buzzer, and this will give you some more options on how to use the Piezo buzzer, as well as websites of what to look up. But for now, I just want to make sure that we know that we can search the H_1, and we can see play song 1, play song 2, play song 3. So if we look at this guy and we click song 1 and we click perform action, that will allow us to play a cute little song. And then what we can do is we can use this action in an automation or a script or something like that. And then you can do something even neater and use like multiple of them all as a light group, and for example, control them that way. So pretty neat. This will finish playing. To my knowledge, there is no way to actually stop it. You just need to click the button and then let it go through, or run the action and let it go through. So at this point, we have learned, let's see here, the basics of the H1, like it has dumb firmware, and we got to flash it with the new firmware. We know that although you can use a battery, it does not have a charging circuit, nor does it include the battery itself. We learned how to reflash the firmware with our flasher site that was shown on the website here. It says click to add the Wi-Fi functionality. And then remember, we had to then go into Edge to actually do that flash. We connected it to Home Assistant via Improv BLE, which is all of our devices technically support this, but it's a new type of way to connect the devices, and learn how to use the Piezo buzzer in Home Assistant. So hopefully this really helps, and please let us know if you need anything else. All right, so thanks again, guys. Have a good one.